coming home after, not as good a weekend as we wanted to have at LSU. So, I think our kids are, their energy level, their tempo, everything is great. I think Tuesday night, was a big win for us, especially the way we wanted in extra innings. And, just when you chart the game on Tuesday night, I just felt like, offensively we were much better than the scoreboard ended up being. And I say that a lot. But certainly we need to score runs. We did not do as good a job of that last weekend as we wanted to. It's a big weekend for us offensively. We need our starting guys to go out there and do what they've done pretty much for the last 4 weeks, get us some quality starts and get us opportunity to get to a bullpen that we are very confident with. So, I'm really excited about today's practice. I think our kids are really motivated to play well hopefully in front of some record crowds this weekend.
You mentioned the starting guys, obviously moving Ross up to Friday. I mean, some of it's circumstances, but you've said all along he could be a good series starter.
He could. I think we're in the situation now. We felt like we had to get Woodruff back on the mound on Tuesday. We had to get Bracewell back on the mound on Tuesday. And in doing that, there's no other time we could throw those guys except on Sunday. So one of those two guys is going to start, of course, on Sunday. And quite frankly, I'm really pleased with both of them. I thought Brandon Woodruff has been a different guy his last 3 or 4 times out. Lower in the slot, going to the two-seamer. He's gotten a ton more swing than this. And he's looked like the guy we thought he was going to be going into this season. So I'm really proud of him for fighting through that tough time and getting back to where he is now. Now we need him to go out and do it in conference play, either as a starter or as a middle guy. And, in terms of the rest type sequence, the best we can do rest-wise is to get Ross going on Friday and get Fitz out there on Saturday.
If there's a guy who's going to be relaxed and not feel pressure, it's probably Ross Mitchell.
Yeah, I don't think Ross is that guy. I think he's, I say this a lot, and I don't say this lightly, he's an artist. He's in his own little world. He's just out there painting pictures, creating pitches, I don't think he's one of those guys who, the guy who kind of succumbs to the pressure is going to try and throw too hard and try and do too much, and that's just not who Ross is. So, he's had 4 really, really, really good starts in a row. Where a ground ball, hitting it in his glove and sticking in his glove away from, him completing a double play, maybe winning game 1-0 at LSU last Saturday. So he's just been masterful.
When you talk about offensive players, sometimes they say, it's that bloop single or that swinging bunt that gets them going. Can, as a team, a walk-off wild pitch kind of be that momentum builder going to the weekend as well?
Yeah, there's fortune in it. You look at Tuesday's game, we punched out 16 guys in the game, we scored 3. 16 times out of 30-something plate appearances, you don't get to first base, although we had the one ball in the dirt there where the guy did get to first base. There's an element of luck, right time, right placement, right sequence of things happening. But, you also have to make your luck. You have to create at-bats. That's the component, the third component of our game that just hasn't been what we wanted it to be. But I think we're very capable. I think in the Vanderbilt series we showed that, we can score runs. And against Arkansas we showed that we can score runs. So I think playing at home helps, certainly, and I think our kids being comfortable helps. And I think having big crowds and a supportive environment really helps as well.
What are your thoughts on the outfield, John, as CT begins to become more healthy and more of a role?
Yeah, I think it helps us for sure. I think CT's a guy who, is a catalyst for us. When he's hitting line drives and ground balls, and he has, his last 10 at-bats have been very, very good. I think he's, with the experience that he has and the things that he can do for you with his feet. That's the other thing about CT is he's a really good runner, but because of his injury, he wasn't able to run. He's our best defender in the outfield, and he hasn't been able to run the ball. So I think if you can get him into the outfield, I think you're getting, a guy who can do many things for you. So I think that does nothing but help our ball play.
2 more questions.
When you adjust the lineup, what are you trying to do when you do that?
Well, there's a lot of components. Who's swinging it well at that point in time, the type of pitcher you're facing. Not only is it a right or left, is it a sinker guy, is it a breaking ball guy? All that stuff. And then you look at the numbers as well, although, the numbers don't tell you as much as you want because, like a player like Vickerson, for example, he's only been playing here for, too much, so you don't have a ton of 4 years worth of statistics to go by. But certainly, you want to put up the best line you can against that pitcher, but you also want to put it together to try and create some. The guy on Tuesday night was kind of a guy who's going to be down in zone through a ton of strikes. We hit and ran 5 times. We had to sequence our order to where we could create hit and run type scenarios. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that for the most part.
You'd still be working the lineup to allow for your starters, like you like to use Matt Britton and a ground ball pitcher, and you may go with Ditz when you have more fly balls.
Yeah, that really hurts us with Preston, because with Preston not being part of our rotation, because Preston, gosh, he got so many ground balls in his first 2 starts or 3 starts. And, not having that element, does hurt us a little bit. But every time a door closes, another door opens for somebody else, and you hope we're here for Ben Bracewell. And Ben obviously pitched very well against Ole Miss a year ago. Really tough situation for us. So one of those guys needs to step forward. They're a different type of pitcher, but still very capable of getting a lot of ground balls for us.
What do you